Hello viewers, welcome back to my channel. Hope you are doing great. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe. There are a bunch of playlists that I created to cover various categories of the problems: dynamic programming, trees, graphs, binary search, breadth first search, depth first search, and so on. Please don't forget to check them out. I have uploaded the code for this problem to GitHub repository. You can get the link from description below this video. Let's jump into today's problem. Maximum sum circular subarray. Given a circular array C of integers represented by A, find the maximum possible sum of a non-empty subarray C. Here circular array means the end of the array connects to the beginning of the array. Formally, CFI is equal to AFI is equal when 0 is less than or equal to I is less than A dot length, and CFI plus A dot length is equal to CFI when I is greater than or equal to 0. So basically, the circular array means the last end of the array is connected to the first end of the array. So even though we represent from left to right, right? So the right is connected to the left. That's what it is. So also subarray may only include elements of fixed buffer A at most once. Formally, for a subarray CFI, CFI plus 1 and so on CFJ, there doesn't exist I is less than K1, K2 less than or equal to J with K1 percentage A length is equal to K2 percentage A length. So basically what that means is, so you have, let's say this is a subarray, right? I mean this is an array, right? So you might have at most one time. So if you had to like connect, right, the circular case, so this became a circular, right? So basically after 2 the 1 came basically, right? So after -2 there is 1 came. So this is only like one time you could connect. It is not like you connect like infinitely, right? So there is nothing of this length, right? Basically that's what it says. So you have to connect the fixed buffer only once. So in this particular example, example 1, there are only 4 elements. So your circle will end right at the 8 elements. So there is nothing like 4 more or 8 more elements repeating. So this is maximum buffer you could have. So that's what it says from this. So the thing that we need to check out for is, so let's say we have this extra buffer, right? So you are given a length of 4 in this particular example. So our extra buffer became total 8 because after -2 we appended the array again just to make sure it is following the circular. This is only for our understanding though, not really we are attaching. This is just to our understanding we are attaching. Okay, so let's knock that off. Okay, so that is how we are saying it is circular. So let's try to understand what is the maximum sum in a circular subarray, right? So here 1 -2 3 -2. So if you keep on adding the elements, right, this becomes -1. If you add this, it will become 2, but 3 itself is more than 2, and when you add -2 it will become -1. So all in all, if you just get this 3, right, that will be the maximum subarray, right? By looking at this array you could say that. So probably the second example is the best example to understand, right? Because this is straightforward. As long as you get the maximum element in it, you just get it out, right? Because every other sum is less than the maximum element. But here in this case, this is interesting. So 5 -3 5. Let's take this and try to go deeper, right? So now, so summary, this is 5. I'm just trying to write the cumulative 2 and 7, right? So if we were asked like what is the subarray without circular, right? Let's say what is the subarray without circular, assuming that maximum sum subarray in that case, right? What it will be? It will be 7, right? Because 5 -3 is 2 plus 5 7. So you consider all the elements in the array and you call that as subarray anyway, because it is all the elements. If you consider in the array, it will be also called as subarray. Nothing but the subarray length is also equal to the given array. So in that case, we would give answer as 7. right? So no, so non-circular. 7 is answer for non-circular, right? Non-circular. But since we are saying we are solving for circular, right, we need to consider the circular case also. What it will be the maximum? So we, this 5, remember we said, okay, we are going to have something like this, right? So now we are trying to connect the first and last ends. So now if you take the subarray max, how much it will be? If you add these two, right, it will be 10. Obviously, if you come from here and keep on adding elements, right, you will cross 10, it will become 12, which is not an ideal case, right? So that is what we want to avoid basically. So even though you are given a luxury to put the same array at the end of the last index, you are not going through the entire array again. So if you go through the entire array again, right, what will be the sum? It will be 14, right? But by now you have got 12, right? 5 minus 3 plus 5 plus 5, it's 12, right? But that is not something correct answer, right? The correct answer is 5 plus 5, you have to say it is 10. So this 5, essentially the first 5 and last 5 are connected. That is what the circular means. So for circular array, answer will be what? 10. So that is what we need to make sure. So let's try to understand in a like naive way, right? So what we are going to do is, so we also know that the array we need to treat as circular. So what we'll see, we start with an index I, okay? Our start index is I, and look for maximum sub array sum from I till n minus 1. Let's say n minus, let's define some things. So n is the number of elements in the array, right? So I is the index. So what we are saying is we start at I and look for the max sub array sum until n minus 1, right? Until n minus 1, and then wrap around and calculate the max sub array sum starting from 0 to I minus 1. So basically what we are saying is, you start somewhere and go on and start somewhere, start at the 0, that means 0th index, and go to that somewhere, right? That way you get to do the wrapped subarrays, right? That way you get to see the wrapped subarrays, right? So if you want to understand a little bit more, let's try to visualize, right? So now we started at minus 3, let's say, so we should end before minus 3, right? So if you indices, right, 0 1 2 0 1 2, right, like that. So now, so you start at 1 and end before 1, right? So that means your subarray is like that. And next, you start at 2 and end before 2, so that is another subarray, right? So likewise, that means what you are essentially doing is the complete wraparound array, right? So the only thing that we are doing is, at every index we are starting as a new search and new calculation for the maximum subarray. So we start at 5 and end at 5. We start at minus 3 and before minus 3, and we start at 5 before minus 5, like that. So if we do that, at every, we are starting from 0 1 2, right? So we started at 0 and we end before 0, right? We started at 1, we end before 1. We started at 2, we end before. So that's what we are doing. So how many we are doing exactly? We are trying to do n calculations, right? So there are n max subarray calculations, and each time we start with a different index to start with, right? So the total complexity that will come down to is order of n square, right? So let's go ahead and look at the look at the code for that, and we'll come back to the approach 2, right? So we'll come back to the approach 2 in a little bit. So what we are saying is, we declared an int overall max. So we put that as int min value, and then we start with 0th index. Remember, I am starting from 0 and going until next less than 0. So basically, in your example in this visualization, right, you go 0 to 1 to 3 and you go 1 to 0 and you go 2 0 1, like that. Basically they are circular, right? So the just to imitate the circularity, right, I am doing that. So we'll start with 0, right, and starting from start till the length we are going in this for loop, right, and from 0 to start we are going in this for loop. So essentially we are trying to calculate the max subarray sum here, right. So overall we are trying to calculate the max subarray sum and keeping track of the max sum for each iteration to for each starting point, and we are keeping the overall max and select the overall max as long as it is more than the current max, right, max sum. So let's try to understand this. So now we started at some point and say current sum, we just added the current element, and if the max sum is less than the current sum, we update the max sum and we update the end index also. So these are just for the debugging purpose I added for myself. So you don't actually need the start index and end index for now, so you can ignore them. And if at all max sum is less than a of I, right, then what we are going to do, max sum will be replaced by a of I. In the same way, if current sum is also less than a of I, we replace the current sum with a of I. So that means the current element is more than the sum that you have seen so far, right. So in that case what you are going to do is that. So this one we are going to continue until starting from start till the length, and the next one we are going to do from 0 to start. So current sum we are adding with the a of I, and if it is greater than max sum we replace the max sum. So for each iteration of the circular, we calculate the max sum and replace it with overall max sum if it is greater than the current overall max sum. So this is how we are going to proceed. So this is the first approach. So if you look at the time complexity and space complexity for this algorithm, right, let's go back. So time, as we said, it will be order of n square. So what is the space extra using we are? Let's go back to the code and take a little bit. So are we using any extra space here? Apart from the start, end indexes and max sum and all, we are not using any extra space, right? So we are just using only these variables. So it will be a constant space algorithm, right? It will be a constant space algorithm. So now let's see if we can improve this algorithm by a little bit for the time complexity, because space complexity it is using constant. So that is pretty much the maximum that we can use, right, minimum that we can use. So time, it's order of n square. So let's try to see if we can go further down with the second approach. So the second approach involves a trick basically. So what we are going to do in the second approach is we try to calculate the max subarray sum similar to how we calculated in the approach 1, and in addition to max subarray sum we are going to calculate the min subarray sum also. So max subarray sum and min subarray sum, right. So what is the max subarray sum? We will get sum, and what is the min subarray sum? We will get sum, right. And in addition to these two, we also do the cumulative sum. So how much is just the sum of all the elements in the array, that is total sum. It doesn't care about it is negative, positive or whatever. So total sum is just blindly add every element into the sum. So now so we can just use the same approach as max subarray sum for min subarray sum, whatever we saw in the problem, right. So here we saw whatever the max sum and whatever the min sum calculation, right. So we'll go back, and so in the similar way for the max that we are calculating, we use the minimum as long as you just update some conditions, and then total sum is just adding the cumulative. And once you have that, these three things calculated by going through starting from 0 to index n minus 1, right, assuming n is the number of elements in the array. So what we are going to see is if min subarray sum is equal to total sum, so whatever the min that you have obtained is total, right. In that case you have added all the negative elements possibly, right. So that means it is a minimum subarray sum. If that is equal to the sum, total sum, then whatever the max that you encountered so far, that will be the minimum, that will be the answer. Otherwise, what we are going to do is max subarray sum is there, and we are going to subtract total the minimum sum from total sum. So, because we have total sum, we have minimum sum and maximum sum. So, maximum sum is the maximum that you can get, and total is what total you can get, and minimum is what is the lowest possible sum across the array. So, this maximum we got and saying okay, this is the maximum and this is the total, right? If you subtract the total minimum from total, you might get a different sum than maximum sum. So, what we are essentially doing is you take the maximum of this maximum subarray and difference between these two. That is what it is, maximum subarray sum and total sum minus min subarray sum. So, we take the maximum of this and difference between these two. So, that is what we are going to see. So, this will be the answer for maximum sum circular subarray. So, let us try to go look at the code for this particular thing. So, what we are doing is it exactly follows the concept that we discussed. So, now we are saying max sum we are assigning to int max min value, and min sum we are assigning it to into max value. So, total sum we assign to 0. So, we have additional 2 more variables. So, this is for keeping the current max sum which is initialized to 0 and current min sum also initialized to 0. Okay. And now what we are going to do is, so total sum is anyway accumulating all the sum, right? So, we just blindly add the current element to the total sum, and current sum max we add the current sum max with the AI current element, current sum min also we add current element. So, now as long as the current sum max is less than AI, if after adding previous current sum max with AI, right, if that is less than the current number, then we better pick the whatever it is available, right, the current element will be bigger than current sum max, that is why we are picking. And now check if max sum is less than current sum max. If current sum is less than the current sum max, right, then we will have to update the current sum, right, max sum, sorry, we have to update the max sum. So, that is for the max calculation. So, in the same way for min calculation we will be looking in the opposite way. We will check if the current sum min is greater than AFI. If AFI is less than current sum min, right. So, we update the current sum min to be the lesser value. We do not want current sum to be higher value, right. So, what we are trying to do in the current sum current sum min is we are trying to get the minimum possible. In the current sum max, we are trying to get the maximum possible from the given array. So, now we have assigned the current sum minimum. So, if it is less than the min sum, right, we have to update the min sum with current sum min, that is it. So, this loop will be executing until from 0 to n minus 1, right, a dot length minus 1, right. So, once we have this, so at the end of this for loop we have total sum, right, max sum and min sum, right, just like we said in the concept. So, we are calculating the max subarray sum, min subarray sum and total sum, that is what these 3 things. So, now that we got these 3 things calculated, we are going to check these 2 conditions essentially. Check if min subarray sum is equal to total sum. So, if total sum is equal to min subarray sum, just return the max sum. Otherwise, what we are going to do is pick the maximum of max sum and total minus min sum. So, that will be the answer for us. So, let us go ahead and look at the time and space complexity, right. So, time, space, time. So, we are going through the entire array once starting from 0 to n minus 1, right. So, we will say the time complexity for this particular algorithm is order of n, right, where n is the number of elements in the array A. And space complexity, how much space we are using? We are using these 5 variables, right? Max sum, min sum, total sum, cur sum max, cur sum min, right? These are the 5 variables. So irrespective of the length of the n, we are using these 5 variables. So we will call, okay, these are the constant memory, okay. So we will represent with order of 1, right. So even this algorithm is also order of 1. So if you compare the first algorithm with this one, right, the first algorithm was complexity of order of n square for time. This one is order of n. So that means we have improved this algorithm complexity by n times, right. So and space complexity is same anyway. So there is no scope for improving the space complexity. That's what we discussed already. So time complexity we are able to improve by n. So if you have any questions, please post them in the comment section below this video. I have posted the code for C# and Java to the GitHub repository. You can find the corresponding links in the description section below this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and subscribe and also share among your friends. Please click on the bell icon so that you will be notified about all my future videos. Thank you for watching. I will be back with another problem very soon. Till then, stay safe. Goodbye.